Hi, this is Steve Webster from gappstrader.com. This how-to video is going to explain how to maintain the property unit space spreadsheet and how it ties together with the leasing dashboard on the home page of the associate web page. Here we see the leasing dashboard. If we click on the Buy Property link, you'll notice that there is a list of properties from left or from top down, and it has information like total space, lease, vacant, so forth. Okay, let's go and open up underneath Documents the Properties Unit Space spreadsheet. I do that by clicking on it. Okay, to maintain the spreadsheet, the only thing we need to be concerned about is the tenants. At this point, all the properties have been entered thus far. That's, for example, at the top left-hand corner, you will see Alex Plaza. To maintain the spreadsheet, just enter the tenants. So as they change, you need to change those. So again, from left to right, the idea here is to show as if I drove my car in front of Alex Plaza, for example. From left to right, I would see West Coast Video, couple vacant stores, check cashing, and so forth. That's the intent of the spreadsheet, to give you a basic layout, as well as to give you a way to link to the marketing brochure, and that's done by clicking on the property name, as well as bringing up the tenant's leases, and that's done by clicking on the tenant lease name. And for informational purposes and number crunching, the square footage that each tenant is using is displayed as well. And you'll also see next to the property a calculation of total square footage, how many units are available or vacant, and what the total availability square footage is. Okay, let's go ahead and click on the West Coast Video link, or the West Coast Video cell. I'm going to double click on it. And by doing so, what happens is instead of just seeing the name West Coast Video, you actually see what's called a function. This function is called hyperlink, and it's a way for the user to click on the tenant name and to bring up the lease. So to maintain this, you don't have to worry about typing this whole thing in. Rather, you can use like copy and paste and edit stuff. So let's go ahead and do that. So the cell next to it, excuse me, let me click on this again. The cell next to it is vacant. So what we're going to do is copy the West Coast Video on the left portion and paste it to the adjacent cell. So I'm going to click on West Coast Video, right click and select copy, or I could just use Control C for copy. Then I'll position the cursor to the vacant property, and I can use right click paste or Control V. So again, Control C and then Control V will paste everything. Okay, so now if I double click on this, you'll see that the vacant unit has now been copied with the same information as West Coast Video. So what I need to do is change the name. So let's say the new tenant's name is, well, since this is a test, we'll call it tenant name. And let me wipe out the long URL string, which is the location of the lease. And what I want to do is do that in such a way where I'm highlighting it in between the two double quotation marks. I'll press delete. And as a result, you'll see hyperlink, left paren, double quotation mark, another double quotation mark, comma, and then the tenant name within quotation marks and right paren. So by positioning the cursor in between the two double quotation marks where the URL should be, that's where you would paste the location of the lease. So let's do this. Let's go ahead and do an example. Let me go back to the home page and click on the leasing segment. And then I'll click on the lease cabinet. And let's say I wanted to, for demonstration purposes, copy the location of this file into the spreadsheet. Since I'm using Firefox instead of Internet Explorer, it has a nice ability. If I position the cursor over Bojangles and right-click on it, what comes up is a choice called Copy Link Location. I'm going to click on that. And then I'm going to go back to the property unit space spreadsheet. And thanks to the copy link location, I can now position my cursor in the correct spot in the hyperlink and just use Control V, which is V as in Victor, which is paste. And as a result, well, let me do that again. I messed up here. Let's see here. Let me remove that. Let you take a look. Do a Control V. Well, actually, let me go back to File Cabinet. Right-click, copy link location, back to proper unit space, position the cursor, Control V, and that is much better because if you scroll to the right, you actually see the word Bojangles Lease in there. I'm going to change the name to West Coast Video, from West Coast Video to, well, I'll just call it the same thing I did before, tenant name. And once you type in the name and copy and paste the link, you just press enter. That's all you got to do. And so as a result, you will see tenant name. If I double click on that cell, the hyperlink is in there. So we're good to go. That's how you do it. And by filling in information, it changes the cell from gray to green. And as a result, the availability number of units, square footage is adjusted automatically based on the formulas behind the scenes. So I'm going to delete what I've just done since this is a live spreadsheet here and we're adjusted everything. All right, so that concludes of how to maintain the property unit space spreadsheet. For additional information, let me show you something else. On the property summary tab down below, it's another worksheet within the spreadsheet. I'm going to click on that. And what you see here is what's displayed on the leasing dashboard. So this is populated automatically. Actually, all I have to do here, or what one has to do, I just had to type in underneath properties the exact name, Alex Plaza, Brush Creek, and so forth. And the formulas go out, looks up the information, and puts it in here automatically. So to tie this all together then, whenever we make a change to the tenant, the property summary down below gets updated. And in turn, if I go back to the home page, actually, I would say within 5 minutes, the leasing dashboard will be updated. So if I click on the by property, this will be automatically updated as a result of the work we've just done in the properties unit space. And this concludes this training. I hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for further how-to videos. Thanks.